G'day and welcome to another lesson. In today's Whip It Up Wednesday project, we're going to make this really beautiful poppy. It is easy to make and it is also great for beginners. The poppy is to help the ladies from 5,000 Poppies website to get their goal of 100,000 poppies. If you'd like more information about the project, I will put the links in the description box below. But here is a quick description of what the ladies and guys are up to over on their website. So between 2014 and 2018, Australia will commence the Anzac Centenary, marking 100 years since Australia was involved in the First World War. And in 2015, there will be a large number of activities commemorating 100 years since the Anzac Gallipoli landing. So 5,000 Poppies is an exciting and ambitious nationwide grassroots community tribute of respect and remembrance, and we are inviting all crafters across Australia to participate in this meaningful and heartfelt project. And what they plan to do is plant a massive field of handmade poppies in Federation Square in Melbourne on Anzac Day 2015 as a stunning visual tribute to Australian servicemen and women for more than a century of service in all the wars, conflicts and peacekeeping operations. So I think that's a beautiful thing to do, and there's, like I said, there's more information on their website. If you would like to make a poppy and donate one, what you need to do is, where would I see it? I did see it here somewhere. Yeah, what you need to do, you can make a poppy and it can be crochet, knitted, felted, sewn from any material, and it can be any shade of red, and it cannot be bigger than 15 centimeters in diameter. There's no entry fee, so this is a great project to support. But all they ask is for you to provide your own materials. So lastly, print out and complete the submission form and send with your poppies, and if you wish, your dedication will be posted on the 5,000 Poppies blog to share with others involved in the project. You can also include a small dedication on the back of your poppy if you wish. So the deadline for this is the 15th of March 2015. So enough of me talking. I really hope you support this project, and let's get started on the lesson. The yarn that we're using in this project is from redheart.com. We are using Red Heart Shimmer. I love how it sparkles and I think it was perfect for this project. Redheart.com is a great place for free patterns and inspiration. And also, you can buy yarn there. So what's better than that? So please go on over to redheart.com. I will put all the links that you need in the description box. There's also a free written pattern for this project, and this is located on the 5,000 Poppies website, but I will put the link for you in the description box so you can go and check it out and print it off for yourself. They also have knitted versions of poppies as well. For our supplies, what we're going to need is a yarn needle with a large eye. This makes it easier to sew in our ends. We're also going to need a pair of scissors. We're going to need a crochet hook to go with our yarn. Now in the pattern it asks for a 3.5mm crochet hook or a size E. This will give us firm tension on our yarn. We are using a 8-ply, a double knit, which I'm thinking is about a sports weight yarn. It is the Red Heart Shimmer. I absolutely adore this yarn. Can you see the sparkles that are in there? So we've got Red Heart Shimmer, and it calls for a 4mm crochet hook, but we're going to be using a 3.5 because we want to have firm tension. So I've got the red, that's colour number 5. I've also got the green. I cannot find the ball band for this one, but it's the colour green. I'm pretty sure there's only one green. It's very Christmassy, this colour, so is the red. And I've also got some black. We're not going to need very much black at all. So if you've got some scraps, that will be perfect. Where's the colour number? I've already gone past it. There we go. Colour number 12. We only need a very small amount. We can also use eyelash yarn, which is that fun yarn or fun fur. There's a lot of different names for it. It's got like eyelashes coming off the thread of yarn. I don't have any at the moment, and it also, because it's black, it will make it very hard for you to see in the video. But we only use it around the outside of one of the rounds, so me using black in the video should be very easy for you to see what's happening. But the eyelash yarn will definitely not. But yeah, you won't need much of that at all. So this is from the 5,000 Poppies project, and I told you about that in the introduction of the video. And this one is Lynn's Easy Crochet Pattern. So this crochet pattern is actually written in Australian, New Zealand or English terms. And if you don't know, there is a difference between English, New Zealand and Australian versus the American way of writing a pattern. It's just the names of the stitches. So this will say a treble, but if you use the USA way, it's actually a double crochet. But I will translate as we go along. Because this is an Australian project, the 5,000 Poppies, and it's also a New Zealand project, that's why we've got the Australian and New Zealand patterns, which are written exactly the same, but they are different from the US way, which is the way that I teach. If you're not sure which way that is, it's the way that I teach you. I teach you the US way. Okay, so that's our pattern, and it says we want a 3.5 crochet hook. We want our finished flower to be quite tight. Going to need a colour A, which is 1 ball of red. We're using 8-ply yarn, and 1 ball will make many, many poppies. So you won't need much yarn at all if you just want to make one. We're going to need colour B. It's a scrap of green 8-ply, so that is going to be my sparkly shimmer. And number C, colour C, is a scrap of black 8-ply, and it says there the eyelash yarn looks great. So I'm going to pop that pattern aside so I can read it as we go along. Just organising myself. So with colour A, which is the red, and your crochet hook, what we're going to do is we're going to make a magic ring. There are plenty of different ways to do that. So do it the way you feel comfortable. So we're just going to pop our crochet hook in there. And what we need to do is chain 3 to start. To make this so I don't have to talk all the time and to make it less confusing, I'm going to say the UK or the US way. So the US way is the way that I always teach you how to make stuff, and the UK way is also the same as an Australian and a New Zealand stitch. So you can actually learn the differences in what the terms are. So what we need to do is chain 3, we've done that, and we want to work 10 UK trebles into the ring. So for us at US people, it's 10 double crochets. So we yarn over and we make our double crochet. And we need to make 10 all together. So a double crochet US and a treble UK is exactly the same stitch. It just has a different name. Why is it different? I have no idea. It just is. So we need to put 10 of these stitches into the middle. And I apologise in advance if you hear noises in the background. It is extremely windy here today. You may hear some noises in the background. Hopefully not, but you never know. So continue on until we have 10 stitches. So we want to pull the ring tight to close the centre of the ring, and we're going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. So we're just pulling on that back strand. Then to the top of the chain 3 we're going to make a slip stitch. And what this does is it joins it together. Round 2 we're going to chain 3. And we are going to work 1 treble crochet into the first stitch. So if it's a US double crochet, so you're only over going in, working our stitch into the same one. we're going to put 2 treble crochets into each stitch and all the way around. So that's again a US double crochet or a UK treble. We're going to go in every single stitch and we're going to work 2 stitches. So each one. We're going to work this all the way around until we get back to over here. So when we get around, we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 and we're going to join. So we've got this little circle. Round 3 it says chain 3. I'm going to zoom out slightly. Okay, so round 3, chain 3 and 2 treble crochet into the first stitch. So that's 2 double crochet if you're following US way. So I'm going to work 2 of those into there. 3 treble crochet into each stitch to the last stitch. So again, if you're following the US way, that's 3 double crochet and it's all going in the same stitch. So that's 1, back in that same, 2, and back in the same again, and 3 stitches. We're going to do this all the way around till we get back to here. When we get back around again, we're going to join to the top of the chain 3. And the 4th round, what we're going to do is going to chain 3 again. One treble into the first stitch. And 2 trebles into each stitch to the last. So we're going to do 1 treble, so that's a double crochet if you're following the US way. And into each stitch around, we're going to work 2 treble, which is 2 US double crochet. So it's just 2 stitches in every single one. Going back into the same stitch for 2, so it's an increase. You could say that way as well. 2 stitches into every stitch around. When we get to the end of round 4, we're going to slip stitch to join into the top of the chain 3. So yours will be looking like this. Looks really cool, doesn't it? So what we want to do now is fasten off and we're going to sew in our ends. So cut off a little bit of yarn. I normally leave about 2 to 3 inches. So you've got about that much just to sew in. If you leave it too short, it can come out. We don't want that because it could fall apart over time. So we always turn it to the back and then I just stitch it down to get to the row where to the bottom of the stitches that we got there. And what I do is I go underneath and it's just picking up the loops on this side of the crochet. So if we look through to the other side, hopefully we cannot see a needle. Aha. We always wonder if that's actually going to work when I do it live on camera. And then go back the other way. Here's open again. Yep. So if our needle was like poking right out, we'd know that we haven't got just the back loop, the back side of the work. So pull that out. Snip that off. And yes, we need to sew in the end, the starting tail. So I'm going to pop that in. Pull that tight again. And to sew in the beginning round, I go under the loops that's again at the the bottom of the double crochet or the treble. So that's the top of the stitch here, and the bottom's just there. So pick up loops. This could be harder to get, these ones. I don't know why, they're just a little bit tighter. Probably because we've got the chain or your magic loop in there as well. Just go around. I like to fasten this one off. So just go through a stitch and then go back through the loop before I pull it tight. And then just sew in a little bit more and then snip it off. So there we go, it's all sewn in there. Looks great with the sparkle, so we can pop this aside. So getting colour green, which is colour B, we are going to do a magic ring or magic circle, and we're going to chain 3, so just like the beginning of the other one that we did. And now we want to work 10 treble or 10 double crochet, if you're US, into the centre. So that's 1, 2, and continue on to have 10 trebles or double crochets. Once we have 10 stitches, we're going to pull this closed just to make it easier to join, and we're going to join to the top of the chain 3. Just going through that top chain there, and then slip stitch, and we are going to fasten off and sewing these ends as well. So again, just pulling that out, and we're going to sew these ends in. I'm going to do that off screen because you already know how to do that, and I'll meet up with you in just a moment. So now we have our little centre. I've sewn in all my ends, and now we want to grab our black yarn. If you've got the eyelash yarn, this is going to look fantastic, but like I said, I don't have any. Does that mean I need to go and buy some? So grabbing our black yarn, we're going to join it into any of the stitches. We're going to do a chain just to secure that. Now I do not normally use black in my projects, especially on my videos, but we're only working one round, so you'll be able to see I'm going into the green stitch. I wouldn't work it if we needed another round of black. So what we're going to do, we've just joined our yarn, and then we're going to chain 1. It says double crochet for the UK, or that's a single crochet for the US, into the first stitch. So we're going into that same stitch, working our stitch. Chain 1. Then we are going to work another one into the next stitch. Chain 1 into our next one. Going to work single crochet for the US or a double crochet for the UK. Chain 1. We're going to work this all the way around, and I'll meet when we get back to here. Then what we're going to do is just going to slip stitch to that beginning stitch to join. Now as you can see, that would look so much better if it was in the eyelash yarn. I don't have it in any colour at all, and I don't normally use it either. So so what we're going to do with this, I was about to chop that off, but I just realised we need to leave a long tail so that we can stitch it on to the rest of the flower. So I've left about 12 inches there. That's probably going to be a little bit too much, but we'll better off to have enough. Too much than not enough. So we're going to stitch this on. You could also stitch it on with the green if you wanted to use the green bit to stitch it on, but I will be using the black. I'm not going to sew that one in because I can actually hide it in behind when we sew it in, so that's good. What you're going to do is going to line up the centres and the centres as best you can, and then we're going to stitch it on. So to make it look pretty on front and back, we don't want to go right through with our needle, because if we do, it's going to leave black stitching on the back, and personally that drives me nuts when I see that. So what we're going to do is when we stitch it, we are going to just pick up the loop that is on the front of the work. That's probably makes no sense, but see how there's a loop there? Is that focusing? Yes? No? We're going to just go through those ones and not, so we're not stabbing it right through to the back. We're going to come through here. Again, picking up the front of the stitch and then stitching it through. I'm just going through the single crochet that's on the front piece. And then hopefully, like I said before, it works out when it's live on camera. Haha! So see how you can't see any black stitching? That's what you want it to look like. You may not ever see the back of this because it might be sewn on something, but I just think it looks better. And if you decide to use it for something else, then you don't have to worry that you've got your black stitching at the back. And this goes with anything. If you're putting eyes or something onto a face or like onto a hat, if it's onto a toy it doesn't really matter because you cannot see the inside. But if it's on a hat or something like that where you're going to be able to see the inside, just pick up those front loops. And I will continue around until we've sewn on the whole thing. So once you've finished, you can stitch your ends in a bit if you want to. I'm actually going to put it underneath the green section and I'm putting it across and out the other side, and hopefully I have not picked up the red stitches. No. See, I've sewn mine in and there's no black. There's a little bit of black there, but you can see that through the stitches. It's not actually stitched over the red. I'm going to pull that through. I'm going to go back across. I'm going to skip a little couple of stitches there, if I can, and go back across. Just to make sure it's sewn in properly. Cut that off. And there we have our poppy. I think that is so pretty. I love it with the sparkle yarn. And of course, if that had eyelash yarn, it would look so much better. But I still think it looks really cute like this. So if you don't have the eyelash yarn, that's a mouthful, the eyelash yarn, like myself, then this is going to work just as well. I think that is gorgeous. And what I will be doing is sending in my completed projects to the 5000 Poppies project. And I will put the addresses that you need, the websites that you need for it. There's also a Facebook page, which is great because you get to see everybody's creations. I'll put all the links that you need in the description box, as well as the free pattern links, because that is on their website. Everything you need and anything you need in any video that I do is in the description box. And I want to thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed this project. Please share your creations on my Facebook page, and also if it's a poppy like this one, make sure you go and share it with the 5000 Poppies project. Like I said, all their links that you need are in the description box. We have a newsletter now on Bob Wilson 123. You can subscribe to that so it comes directly to your email. And also, that's about the end of the project. There's 2 other different versions to the poppy. Not this particular pattern, but 2 other different patterns that we've got from the lovely ladies that are helping with the 5000 Poppies project. And I will put the links to those videos in the description box. Again, thanks for watching, and until next time, happy crochet!